Well, shit, I am back. Might as well kind of start the stream over because um I started to stream like a few minutes ago, and then my parents called me. That doesn't really happen too often at this time. Not that it's emergency or anything. I knew what they were calling for. Um, but unfortunately, I wasn't sure how long we were going to talk, and we did talk for a bit, so I ended up stopping the stream. But now I'm back, and welcome. We're going to be playing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Fighting Edition. Um, it's been a couple days since I last streamed. Actually, not really. Well, anyways, let's recap what's been going on. So last week, leading into my birthday, I was playing a bunch of Mighty Morphin Power Ranger games. Majority of the Mighty Morphin games came out during the 16-bit era. So we had quite a few games that came out for like Game Boy, Game Gear, SNES, and Genesis, and even one for Sega CD. Um, so I basically played through all of those games, and there was at least like yeah, there was at least a couple for each system. Basically, it was one like the first game for that system would be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then the second game would be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. So Game Gear, Game Boy, and the Genesis would all get 2 games each. Sega CD would get one, and the SNES would actually get 3 Mighty Morphin Power Ranger games. And the third one is what we're going to be playing tonight, and it's also the last Mighty Morphin Power Ranger game to come out during this era and to come out for the next few decades. So I so that's what I basically did. Last week I just played through a bunch of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Some of those games, like I beat at least like 2 games a stream because most of those games aren't very long. But the fortunate thing though was that most of these games were actually not that bad. Like they're pretty all right, especially for games that are cash grabs, like or licensed games. Especially during this era, like licensed games are terrible. A lot of licensed games, not all of them, but a lot of them were pretty fucking awful. But as far as Power Rangers goes, like it was actually very hit or miss. You actually had games that were pretty cool, and then you had games that were kind of meh, and you had games that were like pretty awful. I think easily the worst ones had to be, well, first off, the Sega CD one because it was barely a fucking game. It's just you're just watching Power Ranger episodes, like not even the full episodes, like just parts of episodes, and you're just following directions, and it's pretty stupid. So easily a Sega CD is the worst one. The the Game Boy games I would say would be the next worst ones. Those games were pretty bad. Like they played bad, and they were just bad. They were just bad games. But the Sega Genesis and the SNES games, those were pretty alright, I guess. Over on the Sega Genesis, we had they had oh wait, before we get to Sega Genesis ones, Game Gear actually had a couple Power Ranger games, and those are actually pretty good. Those are actually like really good. They're really good. They were I wish they got to like that team got to make a Power Rangers fighting game on the Genesis or even the SNES, because those games were like really good. Like we were robbed. We were robbed by not having these games on a console, instead like locked away on a fucking Game Gear. But those games were surprisingly really good. Um, and then so over in Sega Genesis, like we had a fighting game one. That one is kind of meh. Uh, Somehow the Game Gear one is way better than that game. Like again, it's too bad. It's like, why didn't they get to make the fighting game on the Genesis? And then we got a beat 'em up. The beat 'em up was really good. The beat 'em up is probably like my favorite Power Rangers game from that time, because it's an old school beat 'em up, and its graphics are good. It's done really well. You know, the beat 'em up mechanics are all right, not perfect or anything, but they're all right. They do the job. But you know, the art design and the music, especially the music, is all really good. Zord battles and stuff. So that one is actually like my favorite of all those games. But over on the SNES side of things, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game on that was also like really really good. You know, I still like the beat 'em up one better than the SNES games, but the first one was still a really good game. Like I used to play that game a lot. Like I happened to own that game when I was a kid, and I used to play that game a lot. And I did really like that game, and I enjoyed playing through it. You know, there are like a couple problems or issues that I have with the game, but overall, it is a pretty cool game. It's a pretty cool game. Um, most. And then they had the movie game. The movie game was made in the same vein as the previous game, but somehow it was steps backwards. Like it wasn't as good. It's fine. It's not a bad game. It's not a horrible game or anything. Um it's just the problem is that it takes steps backwards from the previous game, which is a shame. Graphically, these games are really good. They're better than like graphically they're better than the Sega ones. But gameplay wise, I mean that beat 'em up for the Genesis. And then now that leaves us with Fighting Edition. So before we get to that, yeah, so I played all these games. We get to Saturday. I have my birthday. I have people over to play video games and stuff. We played. First, we watched the Power Rangers five-parter of Green with Evil with Tommy, when that's when he makes his debut in the series. Um, After we played Power Rangers Reader's Rewind, and we completed the whole game with 6 players. That was a lot of fun. That was a really cool game to play through. And after that, we played Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. This was the Power Rangers fighting game that came out like years ago, and we did a tournament, and I won the tournament, so that was cool. And then on Sunday, I did something interesting because I was with Posse, who were still trying to figure out her gamer name. I was with Posse, and because like the night before, after the whole Power Ranger thing, we were playing Street Fighter. Me and some friends, and she was kind of curious about Street Fighter and stuff. So she's like, "Oh, like what's Street Fighter? Like what's the story?" And then it's like I tried to like explain the story, but I was having difficulties doing that. So I was like, you know what? Maybe the best way to explain Street Fighter would be to explain like briefly try to explain like each of the characters, because in Street Fighter, there is kind of like an overall story, but there's also like other like major storylines that go on while this overarching story is happening, and shit like that. um so I actually did a stream on that because I thought it'd be interesting, and it took 3 hours. It took fucking 3 hours to go to like briefly go through the 40 years of history of Street Fighter. But it was fun. It was a good time. I was like, don't ask me to do this for fucking Tekken. Don't. Don't. Um but yeah, so that was that. I was hoping to sign back on Sunday, but I never got around to it. So, but now here I am. I'm gonna play Power Rangers Fighting Edition. This is gonna be the last Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game that comes out on the not only on the SNES but ever for like I said, like the next few decades. We wouldn't get another Power Rangers game till Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Mega Battle, which I own but I haven't played yet. So at this point, that would be the only Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game I have not played. Would be that game. But everything else I played, including Rita's Rewind. Um, so yeah, so Fighting Edition. Even though it's the last Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game, it's actually not the last Power Rangers game on the SNES. That would unfortunately be Power Rangers Zeo Battle Racers. It fucking sucks. They tried to make like a Mario Kart Power Rangers game, and it sucks. It's fucking garbage. It is, man. It's like, if you're just thinking about the SNES side of these Power Rangers games, it's like, yeah, like these games are like pretty all right. Like for most part, are pretty good. And then even looking into the games from the other systems, it's like, you know, they had a good thing going. And how we're gonna end this shit? Power Rangers Zeo Battle Racers. Yeah, yeah. So before I get to that, um, so talk about Fighting Edition. If I'm not mistaken, with the Fighting Edition, it was made by the same team that made the Gundam Wing fighting game in Japan, which checks because I did play that game, and the looks and sounds are very similar. Also, like, check out that Gundam Wing game because it's a pretty cool fucking game. There are tournaments you can watch for it. They're pretty cool. Um, hmm. And the game is, to be honest, it's like it's not a bad game. It's just it's one of those games. It's one of those fighting games where it's cool as a rental for the weekend, where you play the shit out of it, or you and your friends play the shit out of it, and then you're like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to play this like ever again, or maybe one other random ass time, but for right now, no. And there was a lot of that happened, where that happened back in the day, where there was a lot of fighting games where they would come out and it wouldn't be bad or anything. They'd be pretty all right, but once you spend time with them for like a whole weekend, and then you realize there's not much more else to do with these games, and you're not it's not going to be one of those games where you're going to be um avidly like playing them, or actively like playing them. um they're just they're good for weekend rentals, and that's that. And unfortunately, this game was one of them. uh and there's not much in content. There's like a story mode, and it's very short, and you can only play, I think, as the Thunder Zord or as the Mega Tiger Zord, and that's it. Like you can't even use like the Ninja Megazord or the Shogun Zord in the story. And what's also disappointing is that the game is you fight with Zords and giant monsters. What's disappointing is that as far as the Zords go, you only have four Zords to use, um, and nothing from the first season. So there's no Megazord, there's no Dragon Zord, or there's no Mega Dragon Zord, or something. Like I think the game would have benefited really well to have added those two Megazords, like at least two of those Megazords. Like I think if they added Megazord and a Dragon Zord, like yeah, we've been good to go. We would have been good to go. But yeah, it's just there's just not much to it. So it's again, it's not like a bad game or anything. There, it just doesn't have much going on. Um, and that's that. And that's that. Hold on, really quick. I'm gonna go do something. Hold up. Okay, I'm back. So, um, all right. So let's talk about what's been going on with Power Rangers at this time. So by the time Fighting Edition came out, obviously it must have come out sometime during the show's like third season. So this would be after the movie games, like after the movie came out. So the movie came out, and the movie is really like it's we would discover that the events of the movie were just like its own thing. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just its own thing. When the third season of Power Rangers would continue, they would basically they had like an all new story for how they got their ninja powers and whatnot. Uh Kind of still similar in it's kind of similar in a way, but honestly better, which is funny. Because I think they had a five-parter for the ninja to get their ninja powers, and I think the five-parter was actually better than than the movie. But the story is very similar, where it's like they have to go to another planet to get their ninja powers. Instead of a hot half naked chick, they meet a ninja robot, Ninjor, who talks very funny. Um, let's see, and so they mostly have to escape to find like new ninja powers and stuff because Rita's brother shows up, Rita Repulso. So just like in the movie, you have a new villain that shows up, that gives the Power Rangers a run for their money, and he has the Tengu birds, just like Ivan does. Um so yeah, so it pretty much hits up like all the same beats. It's just everything is just done better. um so yeah, so we would get we would get their ninja powers and whatnot. um Third season is kind of like a weird season though, for like a lot of reasons. um so first off, having an the show's like now like own version of the whole ninja thing. But we would so the series is also, it was, we got like half a season for 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 this third season. So first off, it was half a season. Kimberly would end up leaving the show, and she would get replaced by another character who Catherine. Um, and then the Power Rangers, I think they got shark motorcycles that they used for like one episode. If that was that season, I don't remember. It may have been second season. It may have been second season. I don't know. They got shark motorcycles one time. I don't know why. I don't know who uses sh- shark motorcycles, but they only used it for one episode, and that was that. And trying to remember if there's any other weird stuff. I don't know. So then, oh, you had episodes that had to address Tommy and Kimberly breaking up. Yo, Bobby, what is up, dude? Welcome back. It's good to see you again. I'm about to play Power Rangers Fighting Edition, but I'm kind of briefly going over what was going on with Power Rangers at this time that this game was released, especially since it's the last Mighty Morphin Power Ranger game for a while. Explodes. Oh no. Is it because of the Power Rangers? Power Rangers make you explode. Um, but yeah, there was like a multi-part episode that addressed Tommy and Kimberly breaking up. Like she sent them a Dear John letter, basically. um, yeah, and then to kind of cap it all off, towards the end of Mighty Morphin, all the Power Rangers turned into kids, and I think they lost their powers, and then they had to call for help from Power Rangers from like another planet, and they look kind of goofy because like they're from like some water planet, and I don't know, they had to wear like goofy ass masks or whatever. It was pretty stupid. But they would be the so the Power Rangers that you would see of them in the show would be the Ninja Rangers that are supposed to be part of that season. And they would only have like a few episodes until the Power Rangers they figure out how to turn themselves back into adults, and then they get the Zeo crystals, and now we don't have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers anymore. We have Power Rangers Zeo, which is a whole new thing now. But basically, that's how Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ends. Like, kind of on a weird note. It was very anticlimactic. Beast Morphers is set sometime after Mighty Morphin. Oh, Beast Morphers? Like, dude, yeah, no, Beast Morphers is like way after Mighty Morphin. Like, way, way, way after Mighty Morphin. I think Beast Morphers came out maybe sometime in the late late 2010s, I think, or early 2020s. Was Beast Morphers? No, I think Beast Morphers is like late 2010s. I think if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was like late 2010s. But that it is, but still it's that's like that means that's over like 20 years after Mighty Morphin. So yeah, so it's definitely set sometime after Mighty Morphin, 20 years later. Your childhood was powering um oh, it was Samurai. Okay. Samurai was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. So was Beast Morphers. Yeah, but in universe Beast Morphers is supposed to be in the same world as Mighty Morphin. Um I maybe not. Only because like some of the Power Ranger teams are like in alternate worlds. Some of them. Some of them are in the same world. Some of them are in different ones. It depends. I think Beast Morphers I think they might be in a different world, like in a different universe. But I'm not positive either. But I think from what I recall, I think it's supposed to be a different universe. But like all these universes are connected through the morphing grid. So, but I'm fairly certain Beast Morphers is in a different universe. If I had to say. But but all the Power Ranger series are still like connected in some way, whether it's like directly or indirectly, like, or even if there's no connection, it's the morphing grid. They're connected by that. So even if it's like an alternate universe, it's still like canon to all of Power Rangers. So, anyways, I should probably get started playing Power Rangers Fighting Edition. It's not going to be very long because in the story mode, you only play as the Thunder Megazord or the Tiger or the Mega Tiger Zord, and then that's it. And it just follows the same story. There's no different endings or anything. So I'm probably just gonna play through the story once and call it a day. So it's not gonna be a very long stream, especially because it's already late for me. But I wanted to get this out of the way. Anyways, I love the animal zords from Samurai. They were okay. Like, I don't think I cared for them. Yeah, I don't think I cared for them. But when they formed into the Samurai Megazord looked cool though. Like that Megazord was cool, but the individual Zords, like, yeah, no, I can't say I really cared about them much. Yes, totally punch the shit out of some fools. Alright, definitely playing on easy. Sound mode, you put stereo. Stereo was a luxury back then. The opening screen actually looks pretty cool. Oh, damn. This went straight to the game's demo. Alright, so we got story mode, we have fighting mode. I'm assuming trial mode might be like their training mode or something. Fighting mode would be their versus mode. So we're gonna hit up story mode. And we only got two options. We got Thunder Megazord or the Mega Tiger Zord. I want to go with the Thunder Megazord. Sorry, Tommy. Okay, I don't know how to play. I'm just doing stuff. Alright, shoulder buttons don't do anything. So it's just the 4 face buttons that I have to deal with. Oh, I did stuff. Alright, I gotta do 2 rounds. Okay, I think I'm remembering stuff. I think I know how to I cheese through the game. Streamer is just mashing. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in this game. I haven't played this game in like years. Thunder Megazord versus Lip Syncer. Trying to see if we can do other attacks. Oh, yeah, I did something. The lipstick shoulders are certainly, yeah. Oh, okay, that's how you do that. Yeah, it's disappointing that for the story mode I don't play as the fucking Ninja Megazord. Because Ninja Megazord's like fucking cool. I have a great idea for eventually Santa. What? No. What? Why is my meter pink? The Godzilla fighting game? The Destroy All Monsters Melee that they recently came out with a remaster, or they're gonna come out with a remaster for. Yes, that actually would be a good idea. Because that game was pretty fucking cool. I used to have it for the GameCube. Oh, Silverhorns. He shows up in the movie game. Oh, I somehow did it again. I don't know how I did that. Oh, I did it again. Kaijus are pretty cool. They are pretty fucking cool. Now it's like flashing like that. I wonder what that means. Probably should have looked up how to play this game, but it's too late. We're too far in now. Oh, I gotta do a mirror match? Oh, gotta fight Goldar. I'm gonna assume we're getting close to the end. I should. I'm just something lazy. Oh shit, there's a lot of info. Okay. Will do more damage and may fire more projectiles depending on what character you have. If you do it just right, you also move up to the next power level. On the third power level, the power bar will turn into lightning, meaning that you reach your maximum power. And all your special moves will be upgraded without having to wait for... Oh, okay, interesting. I wonder if that's how the Gundam game plays. This also means that you can perform your character's super move. Use your super move and put your power back at 0. So you have to use some power moves for your... Okay. Lord Zed. Oh, he's gonna be a bitch. He's gonna be a bitch. Yep. Yep. He's gonna be a bitch. Ah, shit. Motherfucker. Shit. He fucking teleported, like, right in the middle of the hits. Motherfucker. Okay. He got footsies. Yeah, he does. Shit. Shit. Okay, he gets confused with range, though. Quarter circle, 4 quarter circle plus X is your... Wait, so... Quarter circle 4... Oh, okay, so down to 4, X. Okay. I'm afraid to try stuff out right now. Oh shit. So yeah, like I noticed like my fireball like looked bigger and shot more stuff. Who? Oh my god. Motherfucker. Down plus any two attack buttons. Oh, okay. Oh, jeez. Shit. Fuck! This cheap bastard. Motherfucker. Shit. Yeah, he's gonna be a pain in the ass. Because what sucks is that, like, when you're comboing him, he can teleport, like, right in the middle. So there's, like, a lot of times where it's like I start hitting him, and then he just teleports. Shit. That's what I get for fucking around. Alright, I'm gonna try to not fuck around. Motherfucker. He keeps hitting me low. Ugh. Nah, this is really bad. Yeah, the problem with the sword combo is that, like, I'll do the sword combo, and he can just fucking teleport out of it. Oh, so he's master of footsies. Yeah, he has longer range. All right, hold on. There's something I'm gonna do really quick. Okay, I save stated. And then he does that shit. Fuck. Oh, I did it. Alright, but I know he's not the final boss. I played this game before. I gotta fight Ivan Ooze. It's probably gonna be a pain in the ass. Yeah. He does Magneto shields. Shit. Shit. Damn it. I tried to block. Unfortunately, this game's not the most responsive fighting game. Motherfucker. Master of balls. Shit. This is just Dracula Castlevania if he could float. Yeah, pretty much. Son of a bitch. Ooh. Alright, when I get a chance to pause, I'm gonna save state. He's so fucking slow. Motherfucker. Who? Okay, he wasn't as bad as Lord Zed. More phenomenal. Go Power Rangers. That's it. That's all we get. It's pretty, you know, like basic bare bones fighting game. But if I'm not mistaken, I think this was made by the same like team that made the Gundam Wing fighting game that came out for the SNES in Japan, or Super Famicom. Try hard mode and you can get a secret code. How about no? Yeah, so this game only has 8 characters, has 4 Zords, and 4 monsters. I'm pretty sure the code is probably so you could play as Ivan Ooze or something. Yeah, I really wish the game would have had the Megazord and or the Dragon Zord. I think that would have been cool. But you know, I don't know. Having 8 characters in the fighting game around this time was kind of like the norm a bit. Oh, is the computer gonna fight me? Is it cryo mode? Oh, goddamn. How do you do that one move? Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, that was kind of dumb. How do I quit out? Yeah, there's no way to actually quit out except maybe lose or something. Alright, well. I just want to quit out of this. Oh, fuck it. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna stop for now. But yeah, so this was the last Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game that would come out for a really long time. But not the last Power Rangers game. So pretty much things selected the mode that lets you fight everyone. I guess so. I guess that's what trial mode is. I thought trial mode would be some type of a practice mode or something. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Um but yeah, so what would end up happening is a few months after the third season would premiere, because basically it would be like it was like a half season. Um to kind of make it more in line with when Japan Super Sentai series comes out, because in Japan like a new series used to come out every like around every January, February, something like that. So, towards the beginning of the year. So, whereas in America, usually we have shows come out in in the fall. So, but they started doing it um like they moved it up to the beginning of the year, or just about, or kind of. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, um but yeah, so we would get just a half season with the third season of Power Rangers before they would um switch to Power Rangers Zeo, which is like the first time, because in Mighty Morphin, in case you're not like aware or anything, with so Mighty Morphin, they tried their best to stretch that as long as they could. So they stretched Mighty Morphin for like 3 seasons, which is absurd because Super Sentai series only lasts a season and that's it. But nah, they tried really hard to stretch this shit until they just couldn't do it anymore. So so that was when they decided like, okay, we'll like change up like the the powers and the suits and stuff like that every year like they do in Japan. The one difference is that with Super Sentais, obviously it's completely new, not just new suits and robots and stuff. Like it's also just completely new group of people. But for the first couple seasons, they still tried to um have people from the previous team be part of the next one, and this would last until like Power Rangers in Space. um but anyways, yeah, so they would do Power Rangers Zeo. We would get, during this time, at least for the SNES, we would get one more Power Rangers game, and that would be Power Rangers Zeo Battle Racers, which is a pretty shit game. I rented it one time when I was little because I played all these games. It's a Power Rangers game, so of course I'm gonna play it. And it sucked. It was like a dumb Mario Kart ripoff, but it sucked. It was really bad. So yeah, not a great way to to end things on the SNES with Power Ranger games, because at least you had like pretty decent Power Ranger games on the SNES. And then we get this one, and yeah, and I think for the most part, I think Power Ranger games are just all downhill from here. I haven't really played like any of the Power Rangers games from any of the shows after this. I am interested in doing it, but I've never done it. Um, and it would be like a few decades before we would get back into Mighty Morphin stuff. So we would have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Mega Battle, which I own but I never played, but I heard it was like all right. Um, and then we have Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, even though it's a fighting game that features a lot of different, Power Rangers from a lot of different teams. But the base story pretty much follows the Mighty Morphin team, and then just a couple years ago, you had Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind that came out, and that game's really good. So, and yeah, that's like pretty much it. Not really sure where we're gonna go with um how else we're gonna milk Mighty Morphin from here, or Power Ranger games or anything. They only come out with like one every several years. So who knows when the next game is gonna come out. So, but yeah, no, but over on the TV end, like that was basically it with Mighty Morphin. We'd go to Power Ranger Zeo, which was a really weird series in the beginning. Power Ranger Zeo wasn't really. It ended up being pretty all right, but in the beginning, it wasn't very good. They tried to be too much of like a teenage drama a bit, because I think they figured like, oh well, the kids that watch this are now teenagers, and it's like, no, give us back our dumb shit. We don't want this teenage drama shit. So, and that's what ended up happening. I think they at some point they realized like, nah, this wasn't working, and they went back to like just making their goofy, cheesy episodes. Um, we would have another Power Rangers movie with Power Rangers Turbo. That movie, despite it being a movie, would actually be canon to the next season of Power Rangers. So when you got to the next series of Power Rangers, which is Power Rangers Turbo, it already assumes like you watched the movie, and if you didn't, well, too bad. And then we go to Power Rangers in Space, and then after that, that would be the end of bringing people from the previous team to the to a new team, and each show would be for the most part like its own thing. And as far as like the original Power Rangers go, yeah, no, I mean eventually all of them would leave. So of the original six that came out during Mighty Morphin, three of them would leave during the second season. That would be Trini, Jason, and Zach, and they would get replaced by Adam, Rocky, and Aisha. Um, and then when we make it to the third season, Kimberly would leave. She would get replaced by Catherine. Before we get to the end of Mighty Morphin, just before we get to Power Rangers Zeo, Aisha would leave, and then we would get Tanya. Um, and then during Power Rangers Zeo, uh, Jason would come back as the Gold Ranger. And then for the Power Rangers Turbo movie, even though Jason wasn't Gold Ranger anymore, like he still showed up in the movie. Kimberly was also in the movie, but neither one of them were Rangers or anything. They were just there. Um, but for Power Rangers Turbo, Rocky would leave and would get replaced by a little kid. Who and then so then during Power Rangers Turbo, everyone but the kid would leave, and we would just have like a whole new team of people. And then for Power Rangers in Space, the kid left, and they had a new leader for Red Ranger. And then yeah, that was basically that. You would see the other older Rangers from time to time for crossovers or team ups or something like special episodes or something. Um, you mentioned Beast Morphers. Jason from Mighty Morphin like shows up in an episode or two in Beast Morphers. So like for episodes like that, they would do something special. But the only one to like really return and or the only ones to return in a bigger capacity would be Tommy would go on to be part of Dino Fury. He would be the Black Ranger in Dino Fury. Um and and then Billy would come back for the last season of um Power Rangers, which would be Cosmic Fury. Um and then they also did a Netflix special for a few of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I say a few, but unfortunately, like you only really see Billy and Zach, and then you see um like the new Yellow Ranger, and that's pretty much it. You don't get to see everyone else because Kimberly, her actress, like she didn't do it for reasons I don't know why. I don't think it was anything like malicious or anything like that. I think she just didn't want to do it. So like her ranger is there, but you don't see her face or anything. Um, of course, Tommy's actor passed away, so you can't see him. Uh, and and Jason couldn't make it because he was dealing with legal problems. So, but I think I think maybe still saw Rocky. I think was Rocky there. I don't know. I don't remember. But I remember you saw Adam. Like apparently he like runs SPD or some shit. So, um, but yeah. So that was basically the last thing of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and of Power Rangers in general. So Power Rangers here, as far as continuing to adapt the Japanese series, they made a decision to stop that, which is understandably so because a lot of the Japanese series were very difficult to do and to follow. They just got like really some of the series just got like really like outlandish and ridiculous, and I think for some of them would be a hard sell to do in America. For so they would skip Space Hitler. Space Hitler? You have to remind me. Space Hitler. Was it from a series that never came to America? So, but yeah, they would end up skipping series or going back to a series they skipped, and they would try to stretch that series to like a couple seasons. There's a Super Sentai show where they fight Space Hitler. Okay, I don't know anything about this, but I'm not surprised. So yeah, um, yeah, but yeah, unfortunately they would just stop and they would give it like a decent ending to everything. So, it's not a waste or anything like that. As far as Japan goes, Super Sentai is done. They just finished last year, and it got replaced by they brought back the Metal Heroes. Um, I Space Sheriff Gavan, I think it's called. Maybe I could be completely wrong, but that's what replaced Power Rangers now or Super Sentai now. But yeah, no, fortunately, yeah, that's it with Super Sentai. So yeah, yeah. But anyways, um, yeah. So I'm gonna stop here for the night. Next time I sign on, I'm hoping will be Wednesday. And if I do, it's going to be to continue to go back to playing the 007 game that came out just a few weeks ago. I started playing that game. I don't I don't know how far I'm into it, but I think I'm pretty think I'm like decent. Think I'm like, made it pretty far. Um Definitely did like the first few missions of the game. But so far it's been pretty cool. Like I have like my issues with it though, but it's been a pretty alright game. So hopefully that'll be on Wednesday. I think as far as this week goes, I know I should be free Wednesday and Thursday. Friday I might be busy. Saturday for sure I'm going to be busy. Sunday I might be busy. This is typical of my weekends. I'm usually always busy over the weekend. Um but during the week for the most part like I should be free. It's just whether or not I'm able to get the time to go and sign on and play for a few hours. But anyways, yeah. So thank you Bobby for tuning in and uh watching me play this game. And hopefully I will see you again for 007 if you're into that. But all right, so yeah, so you have a I don't know, good night or day, whatever, and hopefully see you next time. So later.